Imagine for a second that your mind is no longer your own, that the very thoughts you think, the memories you cherish, and the fears that keep you awake at night are not yours, but were placed there by someone else, someone operating in the shadows of a government office, someone who decided that your soul was a laboratory. Welcome to Darker Truths. Today, we aren't looking at a movie script. We are looking at a terrifying reality that spanned 20 years, shattered thousands of lives, and changed our understanding of human rights forever. This is the complete, unfiltered story of Project MKUltra. The year is 1953. The world is gripped by a chilling realization. The Cold War is no longer just about nuclear missiles. It has moved inside the human skull. After the Korean War, American POWs returned home praising their captors, leading the CIA to a panicked conclusion. The Soviets had mastered the art of brainwashing. The director of the CIA, Allen Dulles, knew he needed a counterweapon. He needed someone who didn't care about ethics. He found that man in Sidney Gottlieb. Gottlieb was a stuttering, club-footed chemist who spent his mornings milking goats, and his afternoons designing ways to destroy the human ego, known within the agency as the Black Sorcerer. Gottlieb was given a blank check and total secrecy. His mission? To find a way to crack the human mind wide open, wipe it clean, and reprogram it at will. MKUltra was not one experiment. It was a sprawling web of 149 sub-projects. At its core was a then-obscure chemical compound, LSD 25. Gottlieb believed he had found the holy grail of mind control. But to prove it, he needed human subjects. They started with their own. CIA agents were drugged without their knowledge, leading to psychotic breaks and deep-seated paranoia. In the safe houses of San Francisco and New York, the CIA set up Operation Midnight Climax. They hired prostitutes to lure men into rooms equipped with two-way mirrors. There, the men were dosed with high levels of LSD, while CIA agents sat behind the glass, sipping martinis and watching the subjects' psychological collapse. It was a voyeuristic nightmare funded by tax dollars. But the horror went deeper. MKUltra moved into psychiatric hospitals. In Montreal, at the Allen Memorial Institute, Dr. Ewan Cameron, funded by the CIA, subjected patients to psychic driving. Patients were put into drug-induced comas for months, subjected to massive electroshocks 30 times the normal intensity, and forced to listen to recorded messages on a loop for 20 hours a day. Their reward for seeking mental health help? Their memories were erased, their personalities deleted, leaving them unable to recognize their own children. Every dark secret has a witness. For MKUltra, that witness was Frank Olson, a high-ranking biological warfare scientist. In November 1953, during a retreat at Deep Creek Lake, Gottlieb slipped LSD into Olson's Cointreau. Olson spiraled. He became paranoid, realizing the true horror of the work he was doing. 9 days later, at 2:30 a.m. in a New York hotel room, Frank Olson allegedly fell through a closed window on the 13th floor. For 20 years, the CIA told his family it was a tragic suicide due to work stress. But the truth wouldn't stay buried. When his body was exhumed decades later, forensic evidence showed a blunt force trauma to his head before he went through the window. Olson hadn't just fallen. He had been silenced. He was the first official casualty of a war the American public didn't even know was happening. While LSD was Gottlieb's holy grail, MKUltra's ambition was far broader. They realized that drugs alone weren't enough to achieve total dominance. They needed a multi-sensory assault. Sub-Project 68, led by Dr. Ewan Cameron, used depatterning. The goal was to completely shatter the subject's personality through drug-induced comas lasting up to 65 days. While they slept, Cameron played recorded messages repeated up to 500,000 times. Simple phrases were played on a loop for weeks. Then, he would switch to negative, aggressive loops. The result? Total psychic annihilation. Patients would wake up and forget how to speak, walk, or even who they were. They were reduced to an infantile state. But the CIA didn't stop at hospitals. They moved into the prison system. At Holmesburg Prison, they recruited prisoners for skin research and chemical hardening. In reality, they were testing high-potency hallucinogens to see how long a man could endure before his mind snapped. These men were expendable in the eyes of the agency, ghosts in the machine. By the early 1970s, the political climate in America was shifting. The Watergate scandal had shattered public trust. Rumors of illegal CIA activities, domestic spying, assassinations, and mind control began to leak. In 1973, Richard Helms, the director of the CIA, issued a chilling order: destroy all records. Boxes upon boxes of documents, decades of evidence, were fed into shredders and incinerators. The CIA attempted to burn its own history. They thought they had succeeded in erasing the evidence of their crimes against humanity. In 1975, the Church Committee was formed to investigate the family jewels. While most records were gone, investigators stumbled upon a cache of financial documents in a separate archive. These were the receipts. 7 boxes of financial records proved that MK Ultra existed, flowing money to over 80 institutions. Gottlieb disappeared into obscurity, never facing prison. Dr. Cameron died before he could be held accountable. Most of the victims never received an official apology. Their lives were permanently altered for a project that failed. In the 21st century, with advanced neurotechnology and AI-driven profiling, we have to ask, has MK Ultra truly ended? The techniques developed in those dark rooms didn't vanish. They became the foundation for modern psychological operations. The truth is out there, but it is often buried under layers of silence. If you want to keep digging into the darkness, subscribe to Darker Truths. Stay vigilant, stay questioning, and remember, the darkness always has a story to tell. I'm your host, and this was Darker Truths. See you in the next shadow.